Good evening, everyone. It is very late Monday night, February 14th. We stand here trying to give an update on the storm totals for Wednesday and Thursday. The only problem is there's not enough information to make a responsible forecast. Other than the words that come out first tend to be most accurate, and those words yesterday for the Chicago area were 2 to 6 inches of snow. What we could do is explain the situation and talk about what is going on over here, and we're going to give credit to where credit is due. This comes from the Springfield National Weather Service. We have low pressure, which is the storm. A lot of the storms, this storm has remained somewhat of a mystery up until tonight. It remains a mystery for us. We will find out tomorrow morning more information because the storm is coming onshore tonight. So we'll have more information about what the low pressure system is doing out west. The storm system is coming from the Pacific Northwest. It's moving onto the Washington state. I have reason to believe it will be a barometric pressure of 29.8, gradually strengthening to 29.6, or maybe remaining the same as it moves south into the desert, into the southwest parts of the United States. The storm is unique for the West Coast in that it will be cut off from moisture. It will not have much Pacific moisture. It's going to have very little moisture. That's the unique track that it's taking. This storm is then going to redevelop as it moves past the Rockies, as these storms usually do. This storm for us, although it's unique for the West, this is a classic storm here in the Midwest. Unlike the previous one, this is classic. No matter which computer model you look at, especially the GFS, you see a well-developed low-pressure system, a strengthening low-pressure system, a strong low-pressure system, which actually reaches a 12-inch intensity, which means it will reach 29.2 at some point. The issue, however, is that it doesn't reach 29.2 until it's already in the Northeast. So the question is, that's the criteria in these classic storms, especially for the East Coast, to determine whether there's a foot of snow or not a foot of snow. The question, however, is here in the Midwest, it's not going to be 29.2. In fact, according to the GFS model, as it moves past Illinois, it's 29.4. Personally, when a storm is intensifying, I have noticed that it already seems to have the din of whatever it's headed to. So, whereas when it's weakening, once a storm is weakening, even if it would be 29.2, if it's in a weakening stage, the precipitation tends to be lighter. So this storm will be in a strengthening phase, headed to 29.2. Actually, it's headed to stronger than that. It's going to deepen to 29.0 and even head into the 28s. But by that point, it will be in the Atlantic Ocean. So 29.4, we have this. This is a classic storm track, regardless of the computer model. And it's the Midwest. We go with Chazaka. We'll go with climatology, which tells us, again, the bullseye is 6 to 12 inches. Outside that area is 3 to 6. Outside that area is 1 to 3. Okay, we can't do much with the models right now. The Chicago National Weather Service says they have no reason to rely upon one model more than the other. The European computer model has this being a weaker storm, and it's taking the storm track further south. And if the European computer model comes true, the snow will remain just south of Chicago, and there won't be that much. If the GFS model comes true, the heaviest snow will be in the Chicago metro area and north, and the snowfall amounts will likely be more than 6 inches. That's if the GFS model comes through. The South Bend National Weather Service has shared with us the following information, that the GFS is an outlier. Okay? However, that doesn't mean we should ignore it, because the other computer models are also starting to take the storm track further north. Even the European computer model, as the Springfield National Weather Service in Missouri has pointed out, they actually, the one place that has clarity here in the Midwest are them. They have the clarity. They say the heaviest snow will be north of Interstate 44 in Missouri. The St. Louis National Weather Service extends that to say that in Illinois, it will be north of the Interstate 70. That's where the heaviest snow will be. The St. Louis doesn't have the same confidence as the Springfield, Missouri. But again, let's let's forget about the computer models. Just forget about it, because we don't have enough information. We don't know what to do. We have the GF. We don't know what to do. There's no way to know. Let's just talk about climatology here, what usually happens. It's a classic storm track. It's not like last time where we have waves of low pressure moving along a front. There will be a strong cold front which is going to move through. But we do have a strong area of low pressure moving from the southwest, moving northeast through the Tennessee or Ohio Valley, strengthening. So Chazaka tells us 6 to 12 inches in the bullseye, 3 to 6 outside of that, 1 to 3 outside of that. Chicago usually is in the 3 to 6. Where will it be this time around? There seems to be higher confidence that Milwaukee is going to be in the lower end. And there's also that question that some of this might be falling as freezing rain or sleet, which may bring the snow totals down. It's difficult to say. But I wouldn't want to say 1 to 3 for Chicago. I wouldn't want to say 3 to 6. 1 to 3 seems like it's reserved more for the southern Wisconsin area. The problem with saying 3 to 6 is that since some of the precipitation might be falling as freezing rain or sleet, 3 inches might be overdoing it. So we can't go down to 1. We're going to stick with 2 inches as a minimal here in the Chicago area. The question is, what's going to be the higher end? So usually, again, we say the Chicago area ends up at 3 to 6. So we would put the higher end at 6, and that's what I said yesterday. So according to the European computer model I mentioned yesterday, moderate snowfall accumulations, which would be 2 to 6. Heavy snowfall accumulations according to the GFS, which would be more than 6. But tonight, we still, you can't do anything with that because we don't know. We don't even know the storm track. We know nothing. We just know, I think there's enough confidence. What we could say is that this will happen, it will develop. We have the general idea where. And so we're putting Chicago at the minimal 2 inches. The question is, where do we put the upper limit? Do we leave it at 6? Or tonight, should we include climatology to push it up to 12? You could push it up to 12, but some of the precipitation, again, will not be falling as snow. So if we want to keep this as the range as little as possible, I would say for Chicago, 2 to 10 inches. For Milwaukee is a harder one. I was thinking 2 to 8. But I don't know. It's too hard. 1 to 6, 2 to 8, 1 to 8. South Bend 1 to 10. South Bend, anything could happen. I want to explain this. Two sfikes here. We have the track, we have the strength. We also have how quickly will the storm get out of here? That's another question. So, in short, we're going to see moderate or heavy snowfall totals. More of an emphasis on moderate snowfall totals, but it could be heavy. And in addition, there might be 35-mile-per-hour winds along with that, producing blizzard conditions and whiteout conditions. There's a possibility that a blizzard warning might be issued for Thursday afternoon for the first time in many years here in the Chicago area. Even if we get under 6 inches of snow, that remains a possibility. I wish everyone a good night. Thank you for listening. And enjoy, by the way, the really warm weather out on the East Coast before this storm moves in. 70s, 60s. Boston has the highest chance of breaking a record high as highs go into the upper 50s. And records are in the low 60s. I think that's for Friday. No, that's for Thursday. We're going to play a little niggin here. And let's go.